Hey guys, Mr. Marson here, and I am going to be taking you through a tutorial practice video to work on our major scale. I know there's already a video up, but this is another tutorial scale. You're going to be hearing me talking and seeing the assignment about skill sets. And so what I've come up with is some skill sets to work on for us to have some kind of goals to work towards, so we know that we're getting better and reaching some benchmarks of how we can get better and that we can do certain things. So for this skill set is what I'm going to call skill set number one. And skill set number one is going to be scales, our major scales, because they're super duper important. They're really important for all musicians for several reasons. And we keep on practicing because they just make us better musicians and better at our instruments. So I'm going to be playing number 110 in the book, which is the complete major scale, the concert B-flat scale. So if you look at your book, and I know most of us have already done this, and I've already taught it to you, and we've gone through these scales using scale steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then finally 8. Most of us are able to, and most of us have mastered steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. A lot of us are getting to 7 and 8, and we've done it in band. We've learned it. I have taught it to all of you. So what comes up with those steps 7 and 8 is they get a little bit higher, they get a little bit harder, and there's some different fingerings. But I think most of you are going to be able to do this without too much trouble. So, because I'm not sure if you have the scale sheet, it's number 110 in your book, 110 in the book, number 110 in the Sound Innovations book. I don't know what page it is. My page on my teacher book is page 206, and I know the method book doesn't go up to 206 pages. But it's number 110. And I'm going to do this for all the brass players. I'm going to be playing it on trumpet. I'm going to be playing it also on trombone. But those are the only two instruments I have home. So good thing about it is the trumpet fingerings are the same as the baritone fingers. So for the baritone players, when you're watching this trumpet video, if you watch my fingers, it is the same exact fingerings for your baritone or on your baritone. So you can also learn from this. It's just going to sound a whole octave lower. It's going to sound just a little bit deeper. And trombone players, I'm going to play that for you guys. And then French horn players, I'm going to talk you through it and show you some of the fingerings. So when we look at number 110 in the book, it goes all the way up through the scale steps, starting on our scale step that we started on step 1. 1, which is step 1, do. And you know the scale is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we're learning at step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, and then 7 and 8 is what we're going for in this. And it just goes up to the top. It starts on the bottom and goes all the way up, step by step by step, up to the top. So we want to make sure when we're going up the scale that we're going higher and higher and higher with the pitch, and that we're not dropping down. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that. So we're ascending, we're going up, we're ascending the scale, we're going up the scale to the top of the scale, we're going up by 8 steps, because all major scales have 8 steps, which makes an octave. It's 8. And if you notice in the book, our time signature or our meter is in 3/4 times. So this is the meter of 3. So there's only 3 beats per measure. So when I'm counting and tapping my toes, which you should be doing as well, I'm only going to count up to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So every note is going to get 3 beats. And if you also are looking at your book, you'll notice that the notes are half notes with dots next to them. We call those dotted half notes. When there's a dot next to the note, it adds half of the value of whatever it's in front of. So a dotted half note, the dot is next to the half note. We know that a half note gets 2 beats. So the dot equals half of 2, which is 1. 2 plus 1 is, boom, 3. So we have 3 beats. So a dotted half note gets 3 beats. And that takes up the whole measure. If you notice in the whole measure, remember each measure only has 3 beats. So it's a little bit tricky. We haven't really played in 3/4 time, but I think you can handle it. But most importantly is we're working on our pitches and trying to get higher and higher. So as I get higher and higher, I'm going to keep my corners firm when I'm buzzing. As I go higher, my pitch goes higher, my buzz goes higher, my corners are staying nice and firm, and the air and the hole that my blowing and buzzing through gets a little bit smaller. So as I get higher and higher and higher, this hole starts to get really, really small, and I want to push the air through a little bit faster to get those notes to go higher. All right, so I'm going to play this scale right now. I'm going to play it on trumpet first. It's our concert B-flat scale. For trumpets, you're starting on a C. Or is this C? Is this C or is that C? Kind of a mirror of the video. So here we go. So this is 110. My tempo is going to be about this. A little slow. 2, 3, 1. And I'm going to give myself 3 beats for nothing to count myself in. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Those are all 8 steps of the scale. So what I'm working on and what I'm hoping you're going to do and what I'm challenging you to do is to play that whole scale, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's what we're really trying to get to. And I'm hoping that by the end of the school year, that everyone can play that, whether we're home or in school or wherever we are, you should all be able to play that scale. Now, on trombone, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you've forgotten the positions or if you've forgotten any of the fingerings, you can always look in the back of the book. There's a whole fingering chart. In the very last page of the book, there's a fingering chart. It shows you all the notes and all the fingerings and the slide positions. So if you've forgotten a note, you can look there. And also in the very, very beginning of the book, there's a lot of reminders of posture and hand position, how to hold the instrument, your embouchure setup, how to blow into it. Remember our buzz, we want to kick that we want our corners to be firm, and this middle part, we want to keep fleshy and make that buzz sound. I always want to take big breaths and support my sound with air. So if you're, confused on some of the fingerings or what to do or how to play it, remember the book has tons of information in the very back, in the very beginning. And I think there's also a link to a video that you can watch with Sound Innovations as well. So check that out. Now, French horns. I don't have my French horn, unfortunately. But if you notice in your book, we're going to go up to that high C, which we've been working on. F, G, A, B, flat, C. That note is very high. It's up there. You have to really go for it. And then we're dropping down to low D, E, and back to F, which is the starting note that we played at the beginning of the scale. So if this was a French horn, which I apologize if it's not, maybe I'll just finger F, G, A is 1 and 2, B flat is just the first valve, C is no valves open, then you're going to drop to low D, low E is open, it's that 7th step, and F, back to F. So please practice this scale. I'm going to put up a flip grid, a new topic this week, and your flip grid is for you to play the scale back so I can listen to it, so I can see it, so I can hear it, see how you're doing, and give you guys some feedback. I hope everyone's doing well. I miss you all so much. I hope I covered everything. There's probably 1,000 things that I didn't talk about. But we're working on number 110. And if you have any other questions, you can email me or you can ask me on Flipgrid. Just get on your Flipgrid video and say, hey, Mr. Marson, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me with this. And I'll try to help you. So I hope that helps and keep practicing.